Do you know what it really looks like to engage your core, and what really engaging your core looks like compared with tensing your core? What's the difference and why is it important? Now, I've been teaching Pilates for over 20 years. So throughout that time, I've seen a lot of people and I've devised lots of clever little ways to help you really feel that you're engaging your core abdominal muscles rather than just tensing them. And in this short video today, I'm actually going to show you what that looks like, so that hopefully by looking at what my body looks like when I'm sharing these cues with you and these tips with you, it's something that you can take away and use. And this is really important, particularly for those people who are doing Pilates to help with lower back issues. So perhaps a physiotherapist has suggested they do Pilates. And this is why. In the acute stages of any back issue, so when you're really trying to make sure that you are engaging those tummy muscles to support your spine, what we want to focus on in our Pilates practice is actually stability rather than mobility. So if I was seeing a client who I knew had some pre-existing back issues, my first focus before I started to move that spine would be to imagine their spine and imagine their torso around it like a barrel. And what I really want to do is create this wraparound care. So I want to help them to know and understand how to engage their core from the front, from the sides, and from the back. We move the body around and help them to really understand how to engage. When you tense your core, typically what you're doing is kind of bracing, and quite often you puff the tummy muscles out. There's a feeling that you're kind of holding your breath and you've got all that pressure in there. When you are engaging, it's much more of a feeling of it's softer. It feels like those abdominal muscles are pulling in rather than pushing out. So imagine you had a balloon. If you blow too much air in, yes, it's strong, but it might pop. If you've got just enough air in there, you can still gently squeeze that balloon and it will stay strong and it will stay rigid and it's not going to explode. And ultimately, even if you've been doing Pilates for years, if you can get this right, then whether you're doing Pilates or running or working out, this is really going to help you build that deep strength from the inside, support your spine, so that even if you do get injured or your spine health deteriorates with age, you are off to a much better starting place. So try these movements the next time you're doing Pilates or you're about to do your workout and see what difference it makes. Now, the first thing I want you to understand is that your abdominal muscles work when your spine flexes. So without even having to consciously try and brace your tummy muscles, there are things that we can do to help you feel that deep connection. So let's say you're on your hands and knees and I ask you to tense your tummy muscles. So take a deep breath in and tense for me. And quite often what you can feel now is these muscles feel strong here. Another cue might be that you're tensing your tummy muscles, imagining someone's just going to come and dab you in the tummy. But the other thing that you can feel is that the hips tighten up. Try this instead for me. So lift your opposite hand to knee up and away from the floor and bring your hands to your back. And we're thinking just where your ribs end and your lower back starts. And as you breathe out, gently press your back into your hand. Try that on the other side. So just bring your hand to your back and gently lift and hold. Now, I also sometimes do this with clients where I ask them to feel that they've got a towel around their backs and they just gently press the back into the towel. And what you can feel as you do that is that the abdominal muscles reflexively respond. But what is also magic about that is if you just gently lift there, can you notice that it's your tummy muscles working and not so much your hips? And what we're always trying to feel in Pilates is that the tummy muscles are doing the work. You might have noticed when you first started doing Pilates that any exercises like this, when you are on your back, you just feel your thighs and your hips working. And that's because they are, right? Because they're overworking. Now, the next exercise I'm going to show you, I'm going to just lift my top up so that you can see this, is these tummy muscles here. So what I want you to do is just bring your fingertips quite low down underneath your tummy button. Feel the pelvis is heavy on the floor, but also feel the bottom ribs connect to the floor. And then take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, feel your tummy gently drops away from your fingers. Big breath in. tummy drops away from your fingers. Now, if I were to ask you to lift your knees over your hips, what we're looking for is these tummy muscles showing up. What we want is to feel that you can breathe in here, and as you breathe out, pull your tummy away from your fingers. And you can really feel that connection. So if I take you up nice and close now, if I were to take a deep breath in and then brace, what happens is this tends to kind of stick out. And if I let my knees lift up, I get this sort of sense of bulging. But if I have my fingertips down here, now try this for me. Breathe in. And as I breathe out, I'm going to think about drawing my hips up towards my ribs. So I connect through my tummy muscles. My ribs press into the floor. I let my knees lift, but I consciously draw the tummy away from my fingers and pull my hips up to my ribs to feel I've got that connection, and then the feet come down to the floor. If I take this over onto my side, so my side lying leg kick, now again, I've always got this little space under my waist, those feet slightly forwards. I quite often find people who are a little tight in the lower back want to let the legs come behind you. So really important you get the sense of the tail coming into the backs of your thighs. Now bring your hand to your back. And again, gently press your back into your hand. And what you'll notice is those tummy muscles connect in front. So hand to back, breathe in. And then again, that feeling of drawing your hips up to your ribs, but also feeling your tail connect in towards the backs of your thighs. And you've not moved, you've still got that back in that same position, but you've got this connection through your tummy muscles. And then we relax. So it's those really simple concepts, that sense of exhaling when you engage, that sense of using your hand to help you with some of that connection, or feeling you gently draw your tummy away from the waistband of your trousers, but then also that feeling of lifting your hips up towards your ribs. Now, there are many, many other ways that I can explain this and that I do with clients who perhaps don't get this straight away, or sometimes if your posture has shifted to a slightly different position, you might need some different cues. But try those little tips. Also, I would really recommend making sure you do those different angles, hands and knees, or standing is another option if you find that your knees don't like being in that position, laying on your back, and then also being on your side, just to start to feel that you're connecting those tummy muscles from different angles around your spine. It's a slightly trickier one today. It's a bit conceptual, isn't it, when we're trying to engage those tummy muscles? But hopefully by seeing me doing it, that helps you to know whether you have got this right or not. And if you're not sure, please always ask questions. As ever, if you know of someone who would find this useful, please do share it with them and ask me any questions that you have. Leave one in the comments below. I'd love it if you would subscribe to my channel. I share lots of little tips like this, as well as slightly longer Pilates workouts that you can join in. And I will see you next time.